Welcome to all the new members in this group as well. I'm really excited. This group is growing. Feel free to invite your friends or people you know in your network who are looking to start in rent-to-rent HMO strategy, because I still say it is the best strategy if somebody especially is looking to start in properties, and you are looking for that cash flow, then definitely. Now I want to talk about cash flow, how people misinterpret this, and that's how this whole strategy has been marketed. So what I'm trying to say here, that when you are doing rent to rent, that's right, in a business, in any business, and I'm sure people who are at the moment in full-time job, maybe they'll not appreciate, but once you start doing your business, you should all know that in any business, more than profit or loss, what's more important in a business is your cash flow. So yes, in that respect, yes, cash flow is very, very important. And the way I run my business and the way I teach in my group, I teach the way, it should be, and that's so you never ever have any problem with the cash flow, because that is your highest priority for your business, in your business, because you need that cash flow in order to go and get your next deal. And the way I teach my business strategy, this rent-to-rent strategy, the idea is, because you have your massive cash flow in the business, or this injection of money that comes in your business from rental and all that, but I have a specific way of doing it. And due to that reason, you recover your initial investment much faster than usual way. So the way we do, it's just fantastic, because we tend to recover our money within 2 or 3 months. So although people say 6 months or 10 months, but we have clever way. So so that is right for business. Yes, we do need cash flow, unlike any business. In this business as well, we need that cash flow. So for that, it's fine. But if somebody is counting on that cash flow because they are thinking that, okay, once I have that cash flow, I'm gonna quit my job, and that cash flow I will use in for my own needs. So yesterday in this group, was it yesterday or day before, I put a tricky question actually, and I don't think many people, I don't know how many picked up on it. I put a question that it was, I just needed four rent-to-rents, and 4 rent-to-rents were enough to replace my salary. But what I meant was, although that is still true, that all I needed at that time was just four properties, and the cash flow or monthly rental income that I created from those 4 properties was more than, or just it had reached that amount where it matched my salary. So that was fine. But then, do I really take that money out every month? No, I don't. So don't have that aim, that or that target that, okay, I just need 4 properties or I just need 3 properties, because that's when I meet my cash flow target or whatever money I'm making. Because the reality is, once you are in that mode where you are growing your business, you really need that money to stay in your business, because you want to grow your business. So for that reason, although I say that, after I had my 4 rent-to-rents, I was in that position where I had kind of replaced my salary, or I had matched my salary, but I never took that money out, because I wanted to use that same money to go and get more properties. So although people say, oh, how many properties do you really need to replace your income? But, and everybody says that, you go to seminars, you attend different events, and people talk like that. And I think this is very, very misleading, because if somebody is counting on it and they feel that after 4 months, once they have, or after 4 properties, they can start withdrawing that money from the business, because obviously in their mind, they have, kind of made that money. But really, that money is just cash flow, and cash flow you need to keep your business alive. You need that. It's like lubricant. You need that money to go and get new properties, new deals. So if you start taking that money out, then how are you going to grow your business? So to me, although first 4 months were enough, by then I had just completely, recovered my salary, what I was making. But I didn't really start taking money out from the business for 2.5 years, because I just left that money in, because I just left that money accumulate, and I then use that money to buy my investment property, or I use that money also to go and get new deals as well. So whatever money I was bringing in my business, whether it was through rent to rent or sourcing or whatever, or I bought property, so I had rental income coming in as well. So all that money I continued to, I continue to have in the business. So when we say we need that cash flow and we're doing it for cash flow, realistically, we don't really get to use that cash flow. The only time you will start using that cash flow is when you are in that position where, your business can afford to pay you wages, or you have got enough money coming from your rent-to-rent properties, and you feel that, yes, it's now safe enough for me to take a small wage out of my business, or take dividend out. Because first couple of years, it could be that your business, technically on the papers, it may show loss, but it's not really loss. I'm not really a qualified accountant, but that's how it happens. So sometimes I find people get very worried about it. They think, oh, I'm starting rent to rent, and what if I will owe tax? And I always say, why do you worry about it? Because first year, it's a company that you are starting your business in a company. Yeah. So you are separate from your company. You as a director, you've given a loan to your company. So company will owe that money back to you. So basically, if company owes that money back, it can't really be in profit, because you haven't really withdrawn that money, or company is not in that position where it can repay back. So basically, in that situation, your company isn't really making profit on papers, although there is a good cash flow in your business. So you need to have that mindset that don't think that, I'm going to make money and I'm going to start taking money out in 4 months because I have now, met my goal or whatever. What you really should do with rent to rent, because you're not just doing, the way you need to think about this whole strategy is there is so much to this strategy, so it's not just cash flow. It's not cash flow, because even though you're not taking that money out in 4 months time, 5 months time, when you've got number of properties and you're making some money, but that's not what you're doing this business for. You're doing this business for bigger goals. And what are those bigger goals? And that's what you should really be aiming for. And that is the reason I always say, don't do it for cash flow, because for me, like I said, first 2.5 years, I never took anything out. And the only time I started taking some money out was when I quitted my job, and then I was advised that, yes, I should really, otherwise I'll end up paying too much tax, so then you need to really seek advice. So for that reason, don't count on it that, okay, if I've got 4 properties, I've met my target and that's it, I'm going to quit my job. It doesn't work like that. Reality wise, you may need to work for a little bit longer, for longer period, but so what? Because although you met your target, technically you met your target in your business, but you really don't want to stop there. You really want to keep growing. And that is the purpose of getting into rent to rent. And that's why I say, look at the bigger picture. Why you want to get into rent to rent? Because you want to get your foot in the door. The reason you want to get into this rent to rent HMO strategy, especially because you are interested in properties, but maybe you have limited resources and you want to get into properties, you know nothing about it, but you really want to take smaller risk by putting smaller investment into it, and then you want to make a start. So for that reason, 100%, I would say there is nothing like rent to HMO strategy. It is the best strategy you could think of, because if somebody thinks that they want to get into rent to rent and they want to dip their toes, they want to know what it's like being in properties, what it's like dealing with tenants, what it's like, so definitely 100% then get into rent to HMO. And that's why I always say, if somebody in long term is looking to get into property, I still favor rent to HMO strategy. Then I would say rent to service accommodation, because rent to service accommodation, if you take properties, you may end up giving them to a management company anyway. So you don't really get to learn how to, once you start buying your properties, how you will deal with all different things. So the reason you should get into rent to rent, because you want to first reason is you want to get your foot in the door. And secondly, obviously, because you have limited resources and you want to, you want to take smaller risk, you want to start off small, but then you're looking at the bigger picture. You're not there just to make small gains. You are there because you see yourself for next 20 years, 30 years, or maybe forever. Starting from today, you are there in property business forever. So for that reason, get into rent to HMO. Now, second thing, obviously, like I said, you can use that cash flow that you have. You may not use it for your own purpose, but that cash flow, then once you are in that position where, you have plenty of money sitting there in your business, you can then take out that money and then start investing in properties. And that's exactly what I did. Within 12 months, I was in that position where I started investing. So that's when I invested in my very first investment property. So definitely I would say, if that's what you're looking for, then go for it. But don't just have really limited goal that you're looking for cash flow. No, you're not looking for cash flow. Initially, it's going to be hard. I'm not saying just because, I need to tell you the real side of it as well. So it's important that Another thing I would say, it's a great strategy if you want to build your network of right type of people. You want to know, for example, you want to know the type of landlords in the area. You want to know if anybody is looking to sell properties. You want to know any off-market opportunities. So for that reason, it's a very, very good opportunity to get into this business. Definitely. So very good for networking and to build your power team as well. For example, when I took my first property, it needed so much work doing that I had to hire different people. I had to get tradesmen and then someone to do some electrician's work, someone to do my the heating engineer, and all that type of work needed doing. And because of that, I built my own power team. I got to know different people, because when you hire one person, then through them you find out about other people, because obviously people who are doing this type of business, those type of people will know 10 other people, and that's how you build your network. And then that going forward, if I buy property and if I need to know people, or if I need to have people who will be doing work, or I may need to have, reliable people, then you're already building that network of people. Also, agents, landlords. So it's good to know those type of people. So for networking purposes, for power team building, it's a great strategy, because that's what you are looking to do. So 100%, I would say, for that reason, get into rent to HMO. And another thing, very, very important, that you need to understand all the regulation, technicalities. If your aim is that, going forward, you want to buy some HMOs, you want to own HMOs, or you want to buy properties, you want to convert them into HMO, then also I would say, get into rent to rent HMO strategy first. Understand how it works. Understand different regulations, understand, different, all the technicalities, understand all the documents you need, certificates that you need to submit, understand everything, understand about the compliance as well. So for that reason, you are not only making money in the business, but also you are learning the strategy as well, because that's what you are looking to do. So have bigger goal. And for that reason, don't just do this rent to rent business for cash flow, because it's definitely not cash flow. Because it's funny, I was just thinking yesterday and I thought, okay, I'll do this business because I wanted cash flow. But when did I actually use that cash flow? And even now, whatever money if I make, the idea is, you want to save that money because you want to buy another opportunity, or you want to get, more investment properties or whatever. So it's like it's a bug. So if you're really that serious, 100% I would say, that get into this strategy, because you will learn so much about it. You will learn how to, how to deal with different things, and you'll find out connections. You'll have links. You will know, how HMO team works wherever you are looking to invest for your own properties as well. Get to know people. It's like now in my area where I do my rent to rent or property business, this helped me actually. Doing rent to rent helped me to find out who is the officer, who's working. So I got their contact details, so I got to speak to them, sending emails. So it just gets you in that comfort zone with these people. So definitely, guys, sorry, I'm getting a phone call here. People don't know I'm doing my live. So yeah, so for that reason, definitely I would say get into rent to rent. Very, very important, because you will learn everything. And also managing your tenant, really important. You need to know, do not blindly just rely on management companies, because I find so many times that people give their properties to management companies and they make a mess of it as well. So you really need to have one eye on the business. So although you see maybe property as like an investment opportunity for you, and you're looking to invest and you don't want to get involved in management, but still it's good to understand how it works. It's good to understand how to manage your tenants, going forward, what it's really like to be in the business and dealing with multiple tenants in one property. How to choose your tenants, how to do referencing, because rules have changed. What type of checks you need to do on your tenants. You don't have to always rely on people. And if there is a way around it, where obviously once you know that, how to basically pick people, or how to do references and all that, then why to pay a management company for it? There is no need for it, because even if you need to get some work done in the property, or there is some issue in the property or any problem, still you end up paying for it anyway. So if you prefer that way, and if you feel that you can manage, because you already got rent to rent properties as well, so buy to let, you can manage them yourself as well. So also for that reason, if it's in the same area where you're already doing your rent to rent, you're buying properties in the same area, obviously you can manage yourself. So if you want to learn, you're the type of person who learns on the job by doing it by yourself, then 100% I would say get into rent to HMO strategy. There is nothing like it, because it's a semi-passive strategy, 100%. Another thing, people go and do courses to to learn how to do lease option. I'm not sure if everybody knows here what lease option is. Lease option is where you agree on a purchase price on a property, and you agree with the landlord that you're not in position to buy that property today. The landlord is looking to maybe sell that property, but he's not in a great hurry. So maybe he's in some kind of difficulty and he's looking to sell property, or maybe he's finding it difficult, for example, to pay his mortgage payments. So that's when you would agree with the landlord that, okay, Mr. Landlord, I will help you to pay, that mortgage, and I will buy this property down the line, maybe 5 years, 7 years, or 3 years time, when I'm ready for it. Yeah, when I have enough cash for it, or enough deposit for it. So, those type of where you're agreeing on a purchase price, and you get into a contract with the landlord or with the owner of that property, and you rent that property in the meantime, and you buy it within that period that you agreed on the contract. That's called lease option, just in a nutshell. So people go and do lease option. They'll go and learn this lease option strategy. They pay for it. But best way, again, to do lease option is to get into rent to rent, because if you are already renting someone's property, you are managing it on a rent to rent basis. And then if that landlord down the line, if he's thinking of selling it soon or in coming, in future, you can always offer to buy that property. And you can maybe, because you build that connection, you build that rapport, you build that, that trust with that landlord, you can maybe say that, I am more than willing to buy this property, but if you allow me little bit of time, I'm happy to pay whatever price you are, asking, or maybe obviously I trust that you guys will do your due diligence, but then you are in better position to do a lease option. So 100%, if you are looking to do and you are looking to buy those type of properties where you want to take control of properties without buying them, straight away, then definitely rent to HMO is the best strategy for that. So don't look for smaller goals. You want to do rent to HMO for bigger things, to achieve better goals, bigger goals as well. So for that reason also, I would say if you're looking to do lease option, you want to find those opportunities, get into rent to HMO. There is nothing like it. Yeah. Another thing, I don't know why people are told that, okay, if you don't have any money, get into sourcing now. That's a totally wrong approach. 100% that's a wrong approach, because, and I find so many times I talk to people and they say, Sapna, I don't have any money. But when I did a course, they told me that I should start off with, sourcing. But the problem is I'm trying to source properties. I'm trying to sell properties or deals to people. And I haven't sold any because, for whatever reason, people aren't buying them. And the reason I know that they're not buying, because you're trying to sell them something where you don't have understanding of the strategy. So if you're trying to become a rent-to-rent sourcer without becoming a rent-to-renter yourself, it's much harder, because you don't know the true side of it. You don't know. You may think a deal stacks, but you don't really know if that deal is really good for a rent-to-renter or not, because you're not a rent-to-renter yet. So for that reason also, if you are also looking to become a rent-to-rent sourcer, which is, again, it's a good strategy, doesn't give you consistent income, but still, if you are getting sourcing income and that's coming as a bonus, and you are mentally prepared for it to take that, bonus as and when you get it, then definitely also get into rent to HMO. Very, very important, because by you getting into rent to HMO, you'll understand all the technicalities. You'll understand all the licensing rules. You'll understand whether that deal stacks or not. So it helps you to justify to other people that, yes, I'm trying to sell this deal because I know that this deal stack, or this is how much you're going to make. Because at the moment, whenever I see a deal, 90% of the time, I mean, sorry to say, but when you look at the numbers, you feel deal doesn't stack, because the reason is the way we are shown calculations on a deal, they're not really real and they're not really right. And that's because people who are trying to sell that deal, they've never done rent to rent. They don't really know, true side of it. They don't really understand licensing rule. So if you are someone who's looking to make extra money from sourcing, 100% get into rent to HMO. See, there are so many benefits. Do not just look for cash flow. That's not what you want this strategy for. That's not what it is for. 100%, there is so many things that you can achieve by doing this rent to HMO strategy. And for those reasons, you should definitely get into it. And also, like I said, another thing, final thing I would like to say here, that after doing all that work, if you've got properties, you've taken them, obviously, you will ask for a break clause in a contract, if you're taking them on a long-term basis. And if there is a break clause in that, in the contract, and if you really do not like the strategy, you can always come out. Yeah. So it's even for that reason, recover your initial investment. If you feel that it's definitely not for me, I absolutely hate properties, I do not like them, I want to get out of them, then also get into rent to HMO, 100%. Don't expect rent to rent business to just give you that cash flow. That's not what you are there for. You are there to achieve bigger goals. You are there to achieve because you want to get into properties, because you want to create that legacy, because you also want to, put as little money to start with as possible, and you want to recover that money, and you want to enjoy and seeing that cash flow inside your business, which you will be then recycling, obviously. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me just see if I can see any. Right. Let me just see. Guys, if you have any question, ask me. I hope you enjoyed today's topic, because I thought I'm going to put it a little bit, in a controversial way where it will make you think that what is she talking about? Everybody gets into this strategy for cash flow, So I just wanted to give the real side of it, real side of this business. It's for way more, it's way more beneficial than just giving you that, small cash flow that you're looking to withdraw each month just to replace your salary, just because you hate your job, just because, whatever you're doing, that's not really pleasing you, you're not getting that job satisfaction, then, definitely you're going to get everything and more from this rent to HMO strategy. But don't have your goals so small where you're just, trying to get that cash flow, because obviously you don't want to then start pulling money out straight away, because once you see your business has started to flourish, you want to keep that money in. You want to let that money grow, accumulate, so then you can go and get more deals, more properties, and do other things with it. Yeah. So for that reason, guys, definitely buy HMOs all the way. Arjun is saying, yeah. Just to confirm, director's loan, is it returned before tax or after tax? That's a good one. That is returned before tax, but you need to double check, because you may not want to get it back, because you want your business to be stable. Sometimes your business may not be in that position where it can give you that money back yet. So for that, Arjun, my advice would be you need to speak to your accountant, and they'll tell you now is the time. You may never want to take that, because obviously, even though you physically do not take that money out, but still, it stays in the business and it's still classed as director's loan. Sorry, I'm getting into the technicalities of it, but if you want to keep that cash flow going, so you may want to keep that as long as, or once you feel that your business is now secured enough, then slowly you can pull that money out. You can withdraw that money, and then you can tell your accountant what you've done. We can talk more about it in our personal, because I know you're in my inner circle, so we can discuss that. Yeah, because I'll not bore everybody here. Right, guys, any other question? You said, thank you for this topic. Yeah. See, people, you're welcome. People talk about, rent to rent. And how many times, see, this type of information, you'll never get it from any book. You will get it from person who's actually doing it. So you will find out then what is it like behind the scene. What is it really like behind the scene? And that's why I say, whenever you're looking to learn the strategy, get someone who's actually has walked the walk. Get someone who can tell you black and white, in black and white, what it's like, on the other side. Obviously, I did it because I wanted to create my property portfolio, and that's exactly what I'm doing, So I'm in the process of buying my, another investment property, which I'm really excited about. It's another repossession property, huge property, 5-bed, which I'm really excited, needs lots of work, which I'm really, really looking forward to again. So those type of things, if you have bigger goals, if you want to quit your job and then give your 100% into properties, get into it. And rent to HMO, there is nothing like it. There is nothing like this strategy. Even if you hate it, you feel there is always that exit strategy. Reach out to me. I'll teach you how that works. Yeah. But learn from someone who knows what they're talking about. Learn from someone who's walked the walk, so they can give you true picture of it. Yeah. And learn how to get maximum cash flow inside your business. But that's not for you. That's for your business to flourish. So you can then go and get 10 more deals. And that's the whole purpose of having this strategy. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. And I will speak to you soon. I can't see any more questions, guys. So, yeah. Right. Okay. No problem. Okay. Take care, everybody. And if anybody watched replay, please put replay underneath, so I know that you guys have, watched the replay later. That would be fantastic for me. And thank you, Raf. Thank you, Arjun. Thank you, Yo. Thank you, Rose. Thank you. Lovely to have you guys here with me today. Bye-bye.